Alright, here we go as a side view of jump serving here. Gonna go both just in slow motion here first. Alright, let's see at full speed now. Alright, there's a couple things that stand out to me really quickly. One, being the aggressiveness in this guy's steps compared to your aggressiveness. Let's zoom in here a little bit. So his steps, he has a really nice hip relaxation. His foot's coming out here, his other toe's coming down here. He's really getting a good heel to toe pretty far. Even his back hips, look how far there is a spacing. There's a lot of space in between these steps here. Your knee kind of doesn't break, it kind of just goes here and then it goes straight down. See how his kind of comes here and then even more, getting more space instead of just straight down. This is going to allow a pretty far little broad jump and some more hip action so you can jump a little bit higher too. Let's look at how much space there is between the hips. I mean, his hips are just a lot more loose than yours. Look at this, here to there. And yours are going basically from here to there. He's getting a lot more space. He's covering a lot more ground. He's covering a lot more ground than you. So hip stretches, hip relaxation, all that kind of stuff is going to be pretty important. Also, the spacing off his feet. He's getting a nice wide base to jump off of. They're a little tight here. So you can see here, there's not much space in between your feet here. There's a giant amount of space between his feet. One thing that jumps off really quickly, obviously, to me is, one thing that jumps off to me quickly is that he's keeping the ball out in front of his head. You can see his vision. He's looking up at the ball. You're kind of looking straight up in the air. You're looking vertically above you. Your head's really tilted back. His head's going forward. His whole body's launching forward. You're kind of coming backwards. This left arm is, I mean, you're starting to arch your back a little bit too much compared to what you should be doing here. This whole back here is arching. This hand is almost going backwards. This hand's going straight up. It's just hard on your gravity, on your own body here. He's going forward. Everything's going this way. Everything's going that way. Everything's going into the ball. So he's jumping, propelling, everything there forward. You can see his forearms, everything. He's creating a nice, perfect line there. We want this nice line here. We want this nice line. So we see a lot of back, just back folding. He's twisting a lot. He's keeping his hips here, and then his shoulders are turning, but his back is pretty much straight up and down. You're getting this nice little twist here, and your hips are going forward, but there's this huge back C, and your head is going vertical like that. He's still looking out, and his back is still pretty good, and his energy is just going all forward. You can kind of see it here. Yeah. You can pretty much see it how it's kind of arched here. Let's see on contact here. He's going up, balls way out in front. We get that perfect 45. That little table almost he's creating on his arm here. Contacts it out in front. Just kind of elbows, kind of. It's just the back. The back thing is kind of throwing you off a lot. Because now instead of being here with your body and projecting everything forward, you're kind of fighting it and fighting it going backwards. Whereas he is just kind of got everything in front of him going. Last thing that's pretty obvious is that he's contacting it on his way up. He's hitting it at a high point the whole time. He's timed it pretty well. He's almost at his peak. He's at his peak about there. Let's look at his head. He's contacting it the whole time, and then gravity's dropping him. So he's still hitting it pretty high. He's not hitting on the way down. He's still vertically going up, contacts it, and then goes forward. And look how far he's jumping in the court. And then he's moving forward with the momentum is carrying him forward. He's almost to the 10-foot line. He's up there. Let's see. You got. I think you're at your peak about here. Let's get your head on there. Your peak's there, and then you're coming down and hitting it. So peak's there. You should be hitting it now. Should be hitting it now. And that's when you contact it. And that's when you drive it. Look how far that's about. In real life, it's about 6 inches. And just 6 inches, I mean, at any point, it doesn't matter if you're 6 inches lower or an inch lower. It's the fact that gravity is now pulling you down instead of you going up. It's just simple physics. You can't hang in midair. Once you jump, your momentum is going upward, and then once you've hit your peak, the instant you've hit your peak, you're starting to, gravity is pulling you down. So it doesn't matter necessarily that you've dropped that many inches on your jump. It's that the gravity is pushing you down, and your arm is being a lot heavier now, and everything is just heavier. And you're not using the force from the ground to project into the ball. So you've fallen and come down a little bit. Last thing is that he flies into the court. I mean, he jumps well, don't get me wrong. I know he's a pro player, he jumps well. This guy's pretty famous. But I mean, he's drastically in the court and falling forward. You don't have to drastically go in the court that much, but you kind of just jump and then land, just stick in the ground. It's like you're almost in sand here. It's like, boom. No more going. Boom. You have a good hip twist, though. I like the hip twist. It's going there, and then all of a sudden you whip it, your hips that way. So it does create some good ball speed, so that's pretty hard to do. You'd be surprised how many players don't do that at this late age, or in high school in general. Yeah, just in high school in general, players don't usually do that. So you do have good ball speed. Your ball speed's increasing. Just a couple of these little mechanical things to add on to top of that will be really good. So you get your hips going forward, then the hips twist, so you're staying at least tall, but just make sure you're back. The ball, it's got to be out in front of you. And bam, you stopped. So I would like to see you about 4 feet in the court, somewhere around here. I mean, he's like way over here, but I mean, I'd like to see you at least get to there, land there, you know what I mean? At least 3 feet less than him, still in the court, and at least then walking, because your body momentum is carrying you forward. See, his body momentum is just kind of loose and carrying him. He's landing there, and he still runs a couple feet, kind of there, and you kind of just are walking. You land, and then you just kind of get to your spot. Alright, let's go back over it in full speed, just kind of let it play out. See what it looks like here. If I can get it here, here we go. Let's do one more time. Zoom out for you. You still get good ball speed because you're doing a very nice hip rotation. And that's why the ball's also going to the left. Because of that, so you have a natural left curve to all your hits. So get that elbow on top. Like the other video I showed you, the elbow's kind of coming out to the right, and then it's kind of side swiping it. That's why it kind of also is going left. So if you get your elbow on top of your ear and then straight down, and put your thumb and your fingertips straight down, then the ball will go forward, and the ball will go forward. But right now you're kind of side swiping it and you're hip twisting, which is good, but you only want to do maybe one hip twisting, and then if you want to go line, I mean, you can have both serves. You obviously have to have multiple different serves. So you got to have 2 different types of serves in your repertoire there. Line and crossbar. I do like the hip twist though. That's a big improvement. So let's see, leg drive longer than that. That's a little bit of a hop. You're far behind the line. I want you to jump way further in the court. Further in the court.